Hey, what up, folks? Welcome to the Film Focus page again. It's me, Mr. P again. I'm going to be giving you my DVD review of this Fast and Furious 8, directed by F. Gary Gray, and starring Vin Diesel, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jason Statham, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Scott Eastwood, Kurt Russell, Helen Mirren, and so on and so on. You know, there's a whole lot of other people, but I can't name them all. Now, for me, this film is just a surprise. In fact, let me rephrase that. This franchise is a surprise. Who would have thought that in 2001, a film that just started out as a film about street races could spawn 8 sequels and then could morph into this franchise of a team going around the world doing all of these different missions and be Universal Pictures' highest grossing franchise ever, grossed over $5 billion. That's unprecedented. And for me, this film is a revelation. This franchise is a revelation. Whereas some film franchises, they start off really, really good, and then they dip after the third and fourth film. Like, Transformers started off well with the first one, and then the sequels after that were just dire. Same with Pirates of the Caribbean. The first and the second one were good, but then the sequels after that were just dire. Fast and Furious had 4 sequels that were adequate, that were okay. Then they reinvented themselves with the fifth one. Then they did a sixth and a seventh, which was the most emotionally driven out of all of them. And now they are back with part 8. And for me, this film is a worthy entry into the series. It's not as good as my favourite, say, parts 6 and 7. Part 7 was just an emotionally driven one because it was a tribute to the late Paul Walker. But it's still a good follow-up nonetheless. So let me just give you a background on what the film is. Now, we see Dominic Toretto and Letty, played by Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez. They're in Cuba enjoying their honeymoon. And whilst there, Vin Diesel comes across a mysterious woman called Cipher, played by Charlize Theron. And she's got this big hold over Dominic Toretto. She shows him something that realizes that, you know what, she's going to blackmail him into doing all of these different things, these jobs and missions, including betraying his crew. So this spawns a mission where, the rest of the crew, led by Hobbs, played by Dwayne Johnson, and the rest of the crew, they have to chase him across, Cuba, New York, and then they've got this wonderful showdown in Russia. Now, this film was directed by F. Gary Gray, who directed the Straight Outta Compton film, which was just an excellent piece of work. And in this film, it's a bit of a reunion. Because you see F. Gary Gray reunited with Vin Diesel, who he directed in a film called Man Apart. He's reunited with Jason Statham and Charlize Theron, who he directed with in The Italian Job. And he's reunited with Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, who he directed in Be Cool, the sequel to Get Shorty. So this film is a very worthy follow-up to the series. And it does exactly what it does in the tin. Entertains. And it does that on each and every level. Check your brain at the door and just enjoy the film. And it is thoroughly entertaining. You would have thought that when they reached part 8, you thought that this franchise would have run out of steam. There's still life in this franchise yet. And for me, the chemistry is still there. I particularly like the chemistry between Dwayne "Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham in this film, which I thought was very, very good. And funnily enough, they're going to do a spin-off film with these two. I didn't see that coming, but I think it could work because these two have excellent chemistry together. And also, I thought that the film was very well paced. I like the fact that they've introduced new characters in Scott Eastwood. I like the fact that Kurt Russell came back on board. And I found the film to be very entertaining. It was very funny, had some cracking action sequences, some really, really cool music to accompany the film. And all in all, it was just a thoroughly entertaining film. Very, very entertaining. F. Gary Gray, who started off as a video director and has directed numerous action films from Independence Day, from The Italian Job, from Set It Off, The Negotiator. He knows how to do action, and he does this very, very well in this film. One part of the film which I thought was a downer, which I didn't really believe was believable, was the fact that Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham, he, the way that he gets on with The Rock and Vin Diesel's character at the end of the film, even though in part 7 we see he was responsible for killing Han, one of Dom's crew. So I thought that bit was a bit unrealistic. But on the whole, the film was really, really enjoyable. And Jason Statham has shown himself to be an actor who can be quite charismatic and quite funny. And he was funny in this film. And he was a revelation in Spy with Melissa McCarthy. And he was really, really good in this film as well. And some of the other characters from the previous Fast and Furious films also appear in this film as well. It's a good addition to the franchise. It's not my favorite. I still say that part six is still my favorite, followed by part seven, which was one of the most emotionally driven films, because it was a tribute to Paul Walker. But part eight is a very worthy follow up. And there's action scenes coming out of the eyeballs here. There's a wonderful scene with with a submarine. There's a wonderful scene when they're in New York getting chased by Dom, and there's a whole lot of cars falling over. But on the whole, it was just a very thoroughly entertaining movie. This is a solid action film. Great action sequences, great visual effects, great music. And with two more installments planned, what was supposed to happen in 2019 with Fast and Furious 9, that's been moved back to 2020 because we've got this spin off coming in. You know, this franchise shows no signs of slowing down. Where will they go next after this? Who knows? But it's in my DVD collection. I suggest that you have it in yours. It is a very, very entertaining movie, very well made. And again, after part 7, I would have thought they should have left it there. But no, they went on off in another direction and they brought new life into the franchise again. So, thoroughly entertaining. I will give Fast and Furious 8 an 8 out of 10. Is it one to watch? Absolutely. If you've got some time to spare, is it one in your DVD collection? Absolutely. It's in mine, so I suggest you have it in yours. So, that's my review on Fast and Furious 8. Did you like the review? Feel free to comment below. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. What's your Fast and Furious film? Mine's part 6, and I also like part 7 as well. What's yours? Who's your favourite character? Where would you like to go see them go in part 9? Do you think that they should do a spin-off with Jason Statham and The Rock's character? Leave your comments below, and I'll see you on the next film review. Stay blessed. Peace.